try to run.
What's up guys, Darkdally here, and today we're playing some Horizon Zero Dawn, and I wanted to make a short little video to talk about armor, I guess more accurately, to give a guide as to what is the best armor. Now, when I say best armor, I don't mean, what's the best armor in the game. I mean, what's the best way to use your armor at any given level. It differs from early game, mid game, to end game. And, it depends on your playstyle, so how long the game is, but you may be wearing, lower level armors for a long time if you're like me and like to explore. Now, okay, that said, early game, when you first, when you start going to the armor vendors, you're going to notice they have lots of different kinds of armor. Now, these are all, the purple ones, but just imagine these are green or blue, because it's the same armor, just higher level variants, right? So when you go there, they're going to have the survivor armor, the sickness eater, the protector, and so on and so forth, all these kinds of armors. And each armor, like right here, this one's not socketed, so I'll show this, each of the armors has, basically one effect, one thing it's good at. This armor is good at protecting against melee damage, and then they'll have, depending on the quality of the armor, up to 2 slots. And the way I see it, two things lead me to the strategy that I use. Which is to have a different armor for every occasion. One being that you can carry a lot of armor. I can carry 16 sets of armor on me, and my capacity is not upgraded all the way. I could upgrade this even farther if I needed to. And the fact that the vendors sell one kind of armor for like every possible situation leads me to what I do is when I modify the armor, when I do put the modifications in the slots, this is what I recommend you do. Put modifications in that further increases the strength of that armor. For instance, right here we have the melee armor. There's no use putting modifications in it to give, that help with fire or ice or something else, because the reason there are all these kinds is because you're meant to switch between them depending on what situation you're in, and you can switch armor during combat. That said, right here, my Banuk Ice Hunter armor, I decided to modify it with ice modifications. With 88, some of these are even higher. I have moved some of these mods around. Right here, my stealth's 89. My fire armor at one time had a 98 fire protection, and so did my sickness eater, but I kind of shifted some mods around. And that's really the best way to do it. Early game up to through mid game is switch to armor for the situation. If you get attacked by snap maws, or glint hawks, turn on your ice armor. If you get attacked by the fire bellowbacks, put on your fire armor and have it cranked as high as you can. You can change anytime you want, even during combat. So there's no reason to try to, unless you like a particular set of armor, just a whole lot, there's no reason to try to diversify one set of armor because you only have a limited amount of slots. So the best way to do it is this. Take your sneak armor and sneak the crap out of it. Take your ice armor and ice the crap out of it. That's simply the best way to do it. It's really good. Now, later on in the game, you may choose to take, or, maybe even early in the game, it depends. I didn't do the Forger Tree until later in the game, and that's kind of what I'd recommend. You don't need this shit until later, really. Once you get the Tinker, that allows you to take mods out of armor. I could take a mod out of this one and put it into this one. And you can do that during combat as well. So that kind of adds another layer of strategy. And yeah, it's maybe kind of cheap to go changing your mods mid-battle and changing your armor mid-battle. I mean, how does she do that? How would she sit there and change clothes mid-fight? Well, how fair is it that a 30-foot Thunderjaw attacks me and all I have is a bow? That's, that's what I say. Now, later on in the game, a little past the midway point of the story, you're going to come across, actually not this, you're going to come across this right here, the Shadow Stalwart armor. And it, like the Silks, here's the Silks, like the Silks, has no effects of its own. The only effects it has is the effects of the modifications you put into it, plus, well, this does have a little thing, if you read up in the description, it protects against blinding and sonic effects. Well, this is only blinding, I guess the heavier one is sonic effects as well, because this one, I don't know. This armor actually gets given to you, and once it's given to you, it unlocks the ability to purchase the higher level variant at a merchant, which is what I did. I got this and immediately went to check at a merchant, and sure enough, it let me buy this. I did choose to wear this, honestly, simply because it looks so darn cool. It looks cool and it rattles like metal plates when you walk. Unfortunately, it doesn't have the protection something like this would give. Unfortunately, for whatever reason, because of the way the game works, with no mods, this game protects the same as Nora Leather. And hey, that doesn't make sense, and it's kind of a shame because this looks so cool. However, again, I'm talking late mid game. However, it does have 3 modification slots. So though it comes with no effects of its own, it allows you to customize it even more. And with 3 slots, you can do a decent amount of stuff. Mostly, honestly, I wore this because it looked cool. Now, there may be armor in the game I haven't seen. It's possible. I haven't finished absolutely everything yet, but it doesn't matter because once you get this armor, it's the best armor in the game, and there's no reason to wear anything else. So, to recap, early game, you're really best wear the armor for the situation and modify that armor to to strengthen the abilities it already has. You'll be practically invincible if you do that. I mean, you can. You saw the clip where I was fighting the snap maws or whatever it was with the frost armor, and they were hardly hurting me at all except here and there with melee attacks. And then when if you get the Tinker ability, that helps to do that even more. The Shadow Stalwart armor, I did wear it simply because they give it to you. It made me think, usually in a video game when they give you something, that means you're supposed to wear it for whatever reason. So I did go ahead and wear that, and it was modifiable enough, and honestly, it looks cool enough. I had no problem getting all the way near the end of the story where I could get this. And once you get this armor here, if you don't know about the ancient armor, there's multiple guides and such online on how to find it, and I plan on making my own on how to get it. It has absolutely no abilities and no modifications, but it has a built-in shield, is why this armor is good. You can pretty much fight anything for at least a few seconds, and you have to give it a few seconds here and there to recharge the shield. But yeah, it makes you pretty OP. So once you get this armor, if you plan to do your share of exploring and doing the side stuff, you can get the ancient armor. And then, well, you really don't have to worry about anything anymore. Luckily, I'm done changing armor and modifications. So that's my little armor guide. That's really the best way to modify armor. I felt like I needed to make this guide because modifications in this game drop like crazy. I'm constantly, my modification bag is the #1 bag of mine that fills up the most with those crap green mods. I'm constantly dropping them, throwing them away, and vendoring them. And some people are probably wondering, well, that's the best way to do it. And the game kind of gives you that hint because they give you all that specialized armor. That's what you need to do. You need to slot that armor to strengthen its specialty and change it, change it to, for what you're fighting against. That is pretty much the basis of this game. You change your weapon based on what you're fighting against. You change your armor that way too. All right, guys, I hope you found this video helpful. It's been a pleasure. If you like this video, why not check out some more of my content? And if you like my videos, then please go ahead and subscribe. My name is Darkdally. I will catch you all next time.
Try to run.